happen during your time there?
Right. I do not remember the specific details. I think we were asked to go to our room straight to put our bags down, and then we will meet back down at a specific time. And then we did. I can't remember if we had the conversation of, this is the time you're going to have your breakfast, this people are going to come in that are going to train you on various things, and you should start working on your platform. I know that happened at some point. I'm not sure if it happened on the exact day that we got there or the day after we got there. Yeah.
You told us that you stayed at Paradise Suites Hotel for about a week or two.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happened during that time?
They were very protective of us. Male drivers were not allowed to come into our premises. We had where you have lunch and breakfast, time to have breakfast, we had lunch, and then we had dinner. And the setup was, in the morning they hired or they got someone who was for physical training. She would come in every morning and we will walk down to the beach to run, to exercise, to meditate. And then in the afternoons, we would walk on our platforms, write them down. And at the same time too, GRTS at some point was there because they were supposed to shoot a short film to advertise the upcoming pageant and also take pictures of us. So a makeup artist was sent in who came. Yeah, but in the evenings mostly you have all these people and each person you write down your platform, you take it to them, they edit it, they're like change this, add this, put this. And then we also rehearsed our group dance that you do at the beginning, which takes a long time because everyone has to be in line. But most of the time the atmosphere there was like really good. It was like a girls' camping, especially for me. And I'm very introverted sometimes, especially when I'm in public. I am kind of extroverted, but I will always go back to my corner because I was very focused on the talent part of it to get my Riti right, and I was a bit worried because I did not have the actual Riti with me at the time. But the atmosphere overall was great. I was not having a clique or a group within, but it was a girls' camp atmosphere.
During that 1 or 2 week period, did they provide any information about what you could expect in terms of the competition itself, but also after the competition? What you could expect as a participant, a contestant at the time, but also if you were to win, right. What could you expect?
Conversations were ongoing almost at every dinner or in the evening. The expectation was the winner, of course, is going to get a scholarship. And in terms of what the president could gift, there wasn't a specific gift, a specific amount. It all depended on him. That was kind of clear when it comes to extra stuff or gifts that you're going to get apart from the scholarship, right? And that he gave the scholarships. That was also made very clear. The other conversations we had was basically the whole routine of the July 22nd pageant, who's going to be there, the ministers that are going to be there. We were advised not to be nervous, to walk on our stage presence, don't get frightened. And as time went on too, they were very clear about don't go talk to the drivers, don't interact with the guys at the door. But yes, they did give us a general perspective of what to expect, but that it also somehow depended on if you win. And if you win too, the Ministry of Education works towards your scholarship. You might get it, you might not get it. It also depends. Yeah.
And when they talked about scholarships, you said It would depend on the president, and in some instances, the ministry would also work towards assisting with scholarships.
Right.
What did you understand? Were they referring to scholarships in country or scholarships abroad? What was your understanding at that point?
The ones that were in tertiary institutions, the idea was they do apply for schools abroad, and it is paid for, especially the winners of the competition. And for those that are going to high school at the time, might be paid for by the Ministry of Education here in the country.
And so considering that you were at college at the time, at the Gambia College, the fact that you could have a scholarship abroad must have been something that incentivized you to really do well during the competition.
Yes, that was the main, again, as I said earlier, I did not want to be at the college. And so for me, before I even joined the competition, I've applied for schools. I've got accepted into 2 schools. I've applied for flight schools. Almost, I was just on the internet applying. So for me, that's what I really wanted to do, to leave the country and go and study. And because it was really established that it is talent-based, because it's an academic scholarship, that what you display and your platform was really important to get in the scholarship. So me, and I believe the rest of the girls, really gave it their all, like, in participating. Yeah.
But from that moment, you knew that getting a scholarship abroad depended on the president.
Yes.
So after the 1 or 2 week period that you spent at Paradise Suites Hotel, let's move on to the actual competition itself and what happened. Please give us an idea of what took place on the day of the competition.
On the day of the competition, I remember in the morning, I was pleading with Auntie Tita that I know our parents are not supposed to come here, but I needed my Riti to perform. And we didn't have, I was given access to like call, they did it. And I told Auntie Tita, please do call my mom to bring the Riti. I don't need to see her, she can deliver it here. So my mom did that morning. I got my Riti. The morning atmosphere was more of nervousness. Everyone was nervous and filled with anxiety. But towards the competition in the evening, the hall started to get filled. There's a backstage where we prepared and we had our clothes for both evening wear, traditional, and also the dance we are supposed to do. All schools came, the Gambia College were there to support, all these other institutions and schools were also there. And you have a front row where you had ministers, ranging from Minister Fatoumatta Toufa to all the other ones were there. And right behind them was the former pageant who won, and then the one that won for senior secondary school was also sitting there, and then other people. And then to the left, yeah, there were the judges. Some of the judges were former contestants in the pageant as well. So the stage was set. We were ready. We came out, did the dance, same routine again, did our presentation, platform, did the talent display, and everyone did the same thing. It was a long night of that. And towards the end of it, the winners were announced, and we were given gifts on the stage. I can remember, what I remember is clothing from Ida's Idea, and a basket of some stuff in it, yeah.
So we know that 22 of you contested for this. You said at the end of the night, the winners were announced.
Right.
So who were the winners and for what categories?
So I was the winner for tertiary institution, and there was a winner for high school. There was a second runner-up, a third runner-up, and there was Miss Photogenic, Miss Congeniality, and other categories of Miss, but about, yeah.
Do you remember the names of any of the other winners?
Yes, I do remember the names. So it was me, Fatasheri. The winner for their high school was Awajame. The winner for Miss Photogenic was Fatumbenga. The second runner-up was Fanambo of the UTG in tertiary category, and followed by Halimatu Bah of either MDI, yeah, MDI, and Miss Congeniality was Safiatou Balde. I can't remember, like I remember the names, but I don't remember what category they won, yeah.
So you said after the winners were announced, you were given gifts while you were on stage.
On the stage, yeah.
You mentioned clothing from Ida's Ideas, correct?
Ida's Idea and another tailor, another popular one around the area. I can't remember her name.
You mentioned something else. What kind of other gifts did you receive?
I don't remember the details of it, but I know it's a basket and it has flowers in it. But I don't remember what was in it.
So after the competition, can you tell us what happened? What kind of activities took place? Tertiary education. What were some of the activities or some of the expectations that you were expected to fulfill?
Right. So at this point, we are into early weeks of December of 2014.
In fact, let me ask a specific question before that.
Right.
Do you recall the date of the competition in 2014?
No, 21st to 22nd of November, around that time, but yeah.
Please proceed.
Right. So when we finished that night of the competition, we didn't get to meet or regroup or talk about anything. It was very chaotic and celebration, so we all headed home. And there were congratulatory messages coming in. After that, we didn't meet to talk about what is going to happen now as a group. But it was wait. So we are waiting. So there wasn't a point to say that there's a process that's supposed to happen at the Ministry of Education that we are supposed to go to and meet and discuss what's supposed to happen at the ministerial level or at that department that was responsible. It was that we were waiting for a courtesy call from the president. So this went on. We are into December, and normally he would meet with the group early on, immediately when it happens. Ours took longer, and so I started to get involved in filming and movies, and there was this one that I opted for with a director called Femi at the time, with Monica in it, and there was
But before that,
Right.
did you have any interactions with the Ministry of Education? Were you required to do anything else after the competition?
Immediately, no.
Okay.
We didn't talk about what was supposed to be done or myth to talk about any of that happened after the courtesy call.
So I assume that photographs were taken of you during the actual competition.
Are you talking about the full-length photographs?
Well, that's what I'm trying to drive at. Were any photographs taken after the competition?
It was after the competition, but after the courtesy call, not in between.
Okay, so let's take it step by step. Tell us about the director, Femi, who was shooting
Movie called...
a movie.
Yeah, the Tama and the Daga, or the Tama and something. So I was involved in that, and I was shooting for that. So the first time I got a call towards that was on that day I was at the movie set somewhere around Senegambia with the director and with Monica. And then I received a call from the chaperone at the time, who was also with us the whole time in Paradise. And then she told me that there is an event at the State House, and the president is being awarded with a certificate of food self-sufficient Pan-African something from an organization outside of the Gambia, and that is being celebrated, and we're supposed to be there. I was already in my attire for the scene, so I told her that I will not be able to come for that event. She said, but this is like the first event. I said, I know, but I really cannot come. And then that was where we cut off the conversation, yeah.
What is the name of the chaperone that you're talking about?
It's okay, I can say the names, right? Okay.
Yes.
Aisha, that is Auntie Aisha.
So representative of the gender unit of the Ministry of Education.
Yeah. Yes.
So please continue. What happened after that phone call?
Few minutes after that phone call, then I received a call from Jimbe. So I guess at this point, Aisha has related back to her or whoever made the call to let them know that we are supposed to go. And she called me and I pick up, and it was with a no-caller ID. And then she told me that I have to come. This is an event that I have to come to. Wearing the crown comes with responsibilities, and all the girls being there and I'm not being there doesn't look good. And I told her at that time that I was menstruating, which was a lie, and that I had stomach cramps and I cannot come. So when she hung up, I think she called back again at the office. Yeah.
Did you know who she was when she called you?
No, I didn't.
So you hadn't met her before that first phone call?
No, I have never met her.
Did she introduce herself?
No, she just said that I'm calling from the protocol office.
And you said she called with a no caller ID, so
Yes.
an unknown number?
Yes.
And did she say how she got your number, for instance?
No.
So after that phone call, what happened?
I'm assuming she called back to the office or the gender department to say that I do have to come. So here I should have clarified with my mom what happened. But because my mom also works at the Ministry of Education, but under curriculum or another department, a colleague who heard that I'm insisting to come, and when Jimbe called, or whichever protocol called, apart from the one who called me, was insisting that I have to come to the State House for this event. My mom called me. She was there with an auntie of mine who works at the ministry called Auntie Jabate. She called and said, in Mandinka, Muna ite fanang ye kumandi muna ta, like you've been called, just go. And I told my mom, I cannot go. I am right in this scene, like this is a lifetime opportunity. There are so many other events that are going to happen. I already told them that I have cramps. And she said to me, but they're going to come for you anyway, so, where are you? So I told my mom where I was. And I was there. An hour later, my mom came in driving with that Auntie Jabate, and then they got off the car, and she said, they have been calling me, they've been coming to my office. Auntie Isa is saying that they're bothering her, they're calling her and saying that you have to come. So Monica and the director engaged my mom, like what's happening, and my mom explained, and Auntie Jabate, to be specific, was more understanding of the situation, that okay, manghanyi mola, just go. So Femi too, even though very disappointed, had to call in another actress, I think her last name is Mboj, for her to come in and had to ask her, and because we are a different size in clothing, they had to rush to the tailor to fix up the shirt. And because I wasn't ready to go, I wasn't on my way. I did not have my sachet, I didn't have my crown, and I didn't have a dress on. So Auntie Kadijabate decided she would go to Yundum and grab my dress and my crown, And my mom will drive me to Banjul, and we will meet at the entrance, and I can change my clothes. And that's what we did. I was late because they were already well into the program. Yeah.
You mentioned a Monica.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the director, Femi. Who's Monica?
Monica Davis. She's an actress. She's a Gambian actress.
And do you recall the date of this particular event that you're talking about?
No.
But it was somewhere in December?
Yeah.
Do you remember if it was the beginning or end of December?
Mid-December, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were called to go to State House
Right.
for official meeting, essentially,
Right.
because the president was getting an award.
Right.
At that point, you realized you couldn't say no, so you had to go. But you didn't have any clothes with you, and you're supposed to change when you arrived in Banjul.
Right.
So tell us what happened when you arrived.
I was waiting in the car with my mom. We waited for Auntie Khadija to come, and then she came. I changed in the car, and then I got off. I went to the entrance. My mom and Auntie Khadija went back to the office. And when I came, I was asked to, I was still on the phone. I called Auntie Aisha, and then she asked Jimby at the time, who I didn't know. And a protocol called Aisha Barry was asked to come and pick me up at the gate. So I went through security. They scanned my bag, and when I came out of the scanning area, Aisha Barry was there, and then she showed me my seat. When I came, all the girls were already there, so I took my seat. They're like, "Danga late blue hair, what was going on?" Because I had said that I wasn't coming in the beginning because I had stomach cramps, I still maintained that story. I said, "Oh, do dara suma bir bu moma bugana ray, and dama force rek ñew." So I sat
I
there.
think you have to interpret that for some of the non-Wolof speakers.
Dama force ñew means I just forced myself to come. Yes. Right. So I took my seat, and the event started, and all the normal proceedings and praises, and the food self-sufficiency of Gambia was at the top of it, and congratulations. But I can vividly remember Balagaba Jahumpa on that day. And then the president came, of course, before all of this, and we all stood up. That was the first time I actually saw him up close, not that close, but at least that much closer. And then the event finished, they wrapped up, and Jimby, who was throughout the time walking around the place, she came there and she's like, "My name is Jimbe, and the president will meet you guys briefly. This is not an official meeting, but he will just want to meet you briefly because he should have met you earlier, but because of circumstances, that's why." And we said, okay. And we were all excited at the time, like, yay, and, but he said that we had to wait because he's going to pray. They got off the main VIP lounge, they walked into the mosque of State House, and then we were taken into an office on the side, but the office waiting area where you had big couches in the area. So we all sat there and waited for the president to finish praying.
So during the ceremony that had just taken place,
Right.
did you have any role as winners or former contestants? Did you have any role to play at all during that ceremony?
We were enjoying theatrics. We were just sitting there and copying everyone Balagaba Jahumba says, really. We didn't have any official function that we were supposed to do or usher anything. We were sitting there the whole time.
You told us that some of the participants, well, the other contestants, I should say, came from different schools around the country, and you were 22 in number. If you got that call at the last minute on that same day to attend the event,
Right.
Did all 22 show up?
No, there were mostly two that had listos up in events because one lived in Basse, and one was going to Armitage. She represented Armitage. So they were mostly not there unless it finds them in Combo at the time.
So on that particular occasion, were you about 20 or were you less than that?
No, so 22 participated in the main event, but then you have the winners. So when we are going to the events, it was the winners that went, so it's way less than 22 because the others were dropped out. So about like 10 of us now, if you count everyone who's a winner. So out of that 10, let's say 2 would be missing, or 1 because they couldn't make it to the combos.
So after this, you were told that you would meet the president and you were moved to a different room.
Right.
Can you tell us what happened next?
We were waiting there, and then Jimby joined us and introduced herself and be like, yo, yeah, and then recognized us from the competition. Yo, you were this, you were that. There was a little chat here and there between all of us. And then the president had come a few minutes after that, and then we went into an office, but it's the round table where most of the events are shown on GRTS. That's where we went, and he sat in his normal place where he sits, like right here, and then I was sitting here starting from me. Auntie Aisha was there, and on the other side were the other girls as well. So he greeted us and hi, and there were so many jokes being made. And then he did ask me, you're the one whose stomach is hurting you, you know, Fullest, you're always scared of every little thing. And then I agreed, and I confirmed that yes, my stomach was hurting me, that's why I did not come earlier. So he talked about that he has watched the pageant, and that we did really good, that this is a good badge, and that all of us deserved our win, and he's very proud of us, and that this is not an official meeting, and he's going to meet us officially with the rest of the ministers. And yes, so now, because I said my stomach was hurting me, the president, decided to offer a bottle of medicine that was brought to him, and it was black water that he shaked and said that this is really good for menstrual cramps. And I told him that I'm very bad with medicine. He's like, in Wolof, right? Nana Lee, drink this. It will actually help. It's really good. So he had a cup, a plastic cup, white one, where he poured it, and I drank. And I remember at the time, one of the girls said that I have this constant headache as well, that she always has. And then the president said the medicine also works for that. So, you know, you can drink it. So we all ended up drinking that medicine in cups because everyone got sick. And he said it's really good. And he asked us, are you feeling any changes? I think I said yes. But yeah, and I actually didn't, but I did at the time. So he didn't only stop there, but he gave me the bottle to take home, that if I keep drinking it, it is not only going to stop my menstrual cramps from right now, but for all future menstrual cramps. So I took the bottle, and then he gave me $50,000 and gave the winner of the senior second, the 2 winners. He also gave the other girls, but I do not remember the exact amount because sometimes it varies. So that's what happened. And then he got up, he left the room, and then the rest of us also came out. And there were cars that took each of us to our homes. Yeah.
Just a couple of follow-up questions.
Right.
You mentioned the contestant who got up, winner, right? The winner who got up and said she had a headache. Do you remember who that was?
She was Miss something. I can't remember. Can I say her name? Mbo was her last name. Mbo was her last name. I'm trying to click the name right now.
You said that the president gave you $50,000.
Sorry? Yeah.
I'm sure the name will come back to you.
Yeah.
So, gave you $50,000.
Right.
And then gave the other winner $50,000. Is
Right.
that correct?
Right.
You mentioned some of the things that the president said to you at the time. Do you recall anything else that he said prior to giving you this medicine? Because it sounded like he was encouraging the group and giving advice.
Yes.
So what else did he say, as far as you recall?
Some of them are as repetitive as the courtesy call, but it was mostly centered around us taking our education seriously and also not let this win get to our heads, that we'll start going around and not being humble, I guess. But it was a general advice on us taking this seriously and concentrating on our school.
Did he say anything about marriage or men in any way?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the concept, that we should be serious and focus on our education. Yeah.
When he was giving you this advice as well as encouragement, how did you feel at that point?
I felt that he cared and that it was a timely advice, because a lot of people, regardless of what pageantry is or under what it is organized, a lot of people try to sexualize pageants or women on stage in general. So I thought it was a great advice for us not to kind of fall for that. Yeah, so I felt like it was a responsible advice to give.
You mentioned the black liquid that you were given, the liquid that cures menstrual cramps as well as headaches.
Right.
When you drank it, could you tell what it consisted of?
No, it just looked like charcoal, but it didn't have a specific taste for me to be able to say this is what it is. I really don't know.
But when he asked if you were all feeling better, you said yes.
I remember saying yes and other people, but I don't know who from who, but I remember saying yeah.
What made you say yes?
I don't know. I think it's just instincts in the moment. I don't know. I really don't know, but I said that. I wouldn't say that I thought I was scared not to say yes, but instinctively is because he is promoting this medicine so well that it's going to cure future cramps with so much certainty. Me say no did not kind of side with that, or yeah. I just said It was easier to say than to say no, because then he will ask me, why, Hannah, you know medicine more than me, and I couldn't have that conversation.
And he said it would cure future cramps.
Yes.
Did it in fact do that?
I still cramp to death. So. No.
You mentioned Jimbe. Did you know her last name? Jame.
Yeah.
So after this encounter, so the first interaction that you had with the president as a group, can you tell us what happened next? You left State House, presumably as a group.
Yes. Yeah, and then we went home. It was a bit late, but we got home, and that was that. And now we are waiting for the courtesy call. So life went on. I was going to college. I did not really interact with the rest of the girls because I was the farthest in Yundum, and everyone else was like in the combos closer. So, yeah.
Apart from the two other winners who were at Amitage and somewhere else.
Yes.
Rather. So you didn't interact with them much. We're still looking at mid-December 2014. Or thereabouts.
Thereabouts.
So did anything else happen in December?
In December, we had the courtesy call. We had to go and stay at a hotel again for a day before um, we met him, because we had to sew asobis. There's this cloth that we all had to match, and that was being sewn and it was brought in, and Auntie Tida was also there. She came and she was advising us on how to be in the presence of diplomats, I guess, that we should behave, that we should not over-exaggerate or be all over the place, and that we should be careful of like what we say in there, because you don't know what is being recorded or what is not. So that happened before we had the courtesy call, and then the courtesy call happened whilst we were at the hotel. I remember Fanambo of UTG, she kind of thought about a song that we should sing, and we all kind of rehearsed it for all of us to get familiar with it, so that when we go, we will all stand up and sing that song, which we were also busy rehearsing before the meeting. I remember parts of the song, I guess.
I'm not going to ask you to sing it, don't worry.
Great.
So what happened after that? You said that you were taken to a hotel.
Yes.
And that was for 2 days.
Yes, before the courtesy call.
At this point, were you still going to school, or had you already stopped for the Christmas holiday?
I'm not sure if we have stopped, but what I know is between this time and subsequent times to come, I was missing a lot of days in school whenever we are to have any of these events, or let's say later on in February for the whole independence celebration, or if we had to go to Kanilai, I wouldn't be at the college those days. I remember the head mistress of college calling my mom, or they met at some conference, and she told my mom, Dombi, like, what is wrong with our daughter? She misses days in school. And my mom came to me and she said, oh, the head mistress notices that you miss days in school. I said, did you tell her that we go for events and all this usher? My mom said, I didn't, but yeah, that was a concern she raised. So I was missing days on actual school days.
So let me get this straight.
Right.
This was a scholarship pageant with
Yes.
emphasis on education and school.
Right.
You met the president, who again reiterated the importance of going to school.
Right.
However, your responsibilities as a winner meant that you had to miss a lot of school because you had to attend a lot of events.
Yes.
Okay. You said that at some point you had the actual courtesy meeting with the president.
Right.
So this was after you had spent 2 days at a hotel.
Yes.
And received advice about how to comport yourselves in the presence of diplomats.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened at that courtesy meeting. Where was it, and what happened?
It took place at the State House in Banjul, and on one side of that long table, that popular same table, was us, the girls, and on the other side was ministers from the vice president of the country at the time, Minister of Education at the time, to other ministers that were there. And then the president was also there. GRTS was also present, so it was filmed on national TV. And it went on with minister spoke, the vice president spoke, and she was talking about how she's amazed at the talent that we display, that the Gambia has a future and hope, and she hopes that we take advantage of this opportunity and study and take our studies seriously. The Minister of Education went on around about the same. Some of the ministers spoke. I spoke on behalf of the girls, and I remember thanking him for empowering women. I remember thanking him for giving us an opportunity for a lifetime, and that we will take this opportunity and we will run with it and we will make the best of this opportunity. And what a great experience it has been to be part of this whole thing, and how I am inspired that we do have a female vice president. So somewhere around that, and then the person who had the last floor was the president himself. And he went on again about advice on not just jumping into marriages, and also concentrating on our schools, and also developing our skills, and then to make sure we come back to the country to serve when we are done studying. Just to give context here, this was posted on the website of the Republic of the Gambia in 2014. He said Professor Jammeh congratulated the victors for their achievement, noting that he was amazed by the level of talent exhibited during the contest, and encouraged them to take their education seriously. And to utilize their time wisely. He also advised them to be respectful, to be supportive to their parents, and as well as to safeguard their self-esteem, shy away from looking low upon other people, and endeavor to serve as good role models for young people. Commenting on the reluctance of some parents in allowing their daughters to participate in the contest, President Jammeh blamed ignorance for the practice. The president described the contest as a means to empower girls to realize and exploit their potential for nation building, saying there is nothing unreligious about the initiative. Professor Jammeh said he will continue to patronize the initiative, and on the other hand, will not associate with anything that will breed immorality in society. That is basically a sum up of what he said on that day.
I will ask the usher to take that document from you so that we can see where it was posted. But in the meantime, please continue telling us what else happened during that courtesy meeting.
After he advised us and told us to be better citizens and representatives of young people, then there was the ceremony of gift giving. Again, on that occasion, as filmed on GRTS, there wasn't any talks about the process of the scholarship, or what or who to get back to, or when is the process of the scholarship going to start. We did not ask either. So we were given, the winners, me and the high school winner, we were given Mac laptops each, an iPhone, a Mac iPad, an iPhone 6, a box with a coin goal with his head on it, printed on the coin goal, a cash prize, I think, yeah. And the other that I know I got as a winner with the other winner of the high school, and the rest of the girls didn't get the laptop or the coin, but they did get the iPad and an amount of money as well. Yeah.
Do you recall how much money was given?
$200,000.
So from the document that you provided,
Right.
It says that you and Awa Jammeh, who was I believe she was one of the winners.
She's the winner of the high school. Yeah.
Received $200,000
Right.
each. Is that correct?
Right.
And then for the other winners, they received $100,000 each. That's the cash
about
prize.
there, yeah.
So after giving you these gifts, what else happened during that meeting?
We dispersed, actually, after the whole ceremony. We took pictures. We stood up, we took pictures with the gifts in our hands, and yeah, we went home.
I believe this would be a good place to pause because it's time for the coffee break.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I hand over to you. We will continue after the coffee break. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Council, and thank you very much, Ms. Jallow. We'll take a 30-minute break and come back at 12 noon sharp. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
ñoo ñëw ak yéen rek skincare plus nara jàkkaarloo ak yéen waxtaan ak yéen tuuti rek si suñu tube suñu baax emuñ rek ci ay diw waaye comme ni ngeen ko xamee rek dañoo yëngu ci ay tube te yënguwuñ nag si just any tube suñ tube bu nekk 5 star jesna la 5 star jesna mooy jesna bi gën a pire moom la ñoo tube palmaan bi gën a fort moom la ñoo liggéeyee ñun rek si tube dara du doy day des not only dañoo tube but bu la neexee ñu tuubal la ba pare nag ñawal la. We're not all about skin. We are skin, care, and the plus does come in so many different ways.
diwli lanni maaro lanni
Fop lanni.
awa joni mi anda honno gerdeten e ngal ɗo sabu e ngal ɗo Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay ka bitiki ñawloɗen ha humpodiren e makko est ce que on noon e warude
Waɗen no awa.
ane kore Ibrahima ma ko to woni
mo Amérique
ko America woni kede humpitaki fiɓe musidɓe men baluwo
balu o
ɓe andanɗa kala ko wawɗa wonde e aduna o si a rewi e juuɗe maɓɓe a jonnay ɗo dépassement o Gambia hara no weeɓi a yahata kadi taw ko mbuɗi ɗi no ƴawi walla no jippi ɓe haalantama ko kala ko falɗa ko sengo ñamete ili nebba maaro basal pomme de terre kala ko rewi ɗon a hendoto hara no weeɓi kadi wona ɗum ɗon tu ɓe jonnira e mobile phone siko ɗum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode ɗi hay kaspawa ɓe wawma jonnude kadi sa wala humpitade ko weeɓi ƴettu Google account ma joni data ton waɗa download app maɓɓe on ayiyay kala ko humpima e maɓɓe ton ɓe weeɓi ha mata
ka wonɗa wo e aduna on
kala ko wawɗa
a jonnanayi wonɗo ka leydi men Gambia ɗo dépense
hara no weeɓi ha ma si ɗum no fof no neeɓi immoɗen joni mi ɗowtama ka place maɓɓe jano
waɗen joni
iya heeɓa ko falata
waɗen kisan